Welcome. What's up, y'all? We've been chilling here for a bit, so.
So David.
So what's up? What's up? I'm not good at this intro stuff, but today we're doing intro to HTML. It's a very simple language. Shouldn't be too complex. So yeah, let's go over it. I guess let's start. Does anyone know what HTML means? Hyper text markup. Do you know what truly all that means?
Markup means that it's going to be strictly written, I believe.
Okay, yeah, all right. Do we know what the hypertext means? Anyone know what the hypertext part means? What do you know?
It's the tags.
Okay, close enough. Close. So hypertext, let's break it down. Hypertext is basically the text on the web page, right? But it can link to another page of volume text. So let's say there's a link right here, and I'll go to another web page that has more text, and another link will go to another web page of text. That's what the hypertext means. The markup language is kind of really what it sounds like, the markup of text. So this right here, let's say, for example, is underlining, bold, quotations, that's a markup. That's a markup on, like, let's say, when you're writing an essay. So that is what the language does. It helps, get all the, what I'm basically trying to say is we use that language with tags. We put content in these tags to make it bold, underline, or whatever we are doing. Tags and elements. What is that? What is tags and elements? Let me get the and writing it. All right. So tags and elements. A tag is basically these, what are they called? The brackets. Arrow brackets, yeah, perfect. Arrow brackets. And we have, let's say, P. Okay, that's for paragraph. Or we have H1, which is a header. That basically activates whatever we have in the middle of this, let's say we got hello world. That basically, it's telling the compiler, hey, we're putting a header between our content, make it a header, header one, well, I'll show you what header one means. But basically, writing like a tag, this is called an open tag. And then we have our content, so hello. And then we end it off with a closing tag, which has one of the slashes. I call it slash, forward slash, yeah. And then we close it with another arrow bracket. That's our closing tag. Again, middle will be element, or not element, oops, let's say content. And then this whole thing basically is called an element. Just some vocab for you guys to hear because I will be using it multiple times and just to know vocab. So, okay, again, open tag, closing tag, with content in the middle is all an element. Right. So let's go over some, I guess, tags. I mean, that's what HTML is basically. Let's go over some tags. Any questions so far? Why H1? H6. Well, let me show you the tags. What have these?
I'm gonna start with H1, or does it start with H1, or could it be any number?
So it could be any number. That's actually a great question. I'm gonna go over that when we get to the header part. But when we open headers, specifically, the rule of thumb is only have one header one in your HTML. That header one is basically the biggest. It's gonna be like the biggest text body, the highlight, the title, whatever you want to use for the header. It's the biggest one, so use it once in HTML. Then go lower. HTML2, or not HTML2. Okay. Header 1 to header 2. So actually, I'll do the header right now. I'm very confused. So these headers, Actually, I'll even get the board going. By the way, if I look at all really, with my context, I've just got new context and I can't look straight. All right. Let me put this down. No. Come on, bro. Jordan, I'm excited. This is awesome. That's what Jordan just told me. Very good. So back to the header point I'm trying to say. Header one is I'd say if you're making a website, header one will be your most important. So it could be a title, it could be your name, it could be whatever is the most important on your website, the topic of your website. And going down to header 2, header 3, header 4, header 5 will get less important. Less important. That's the. So let me share what I'm trying to say basically. And let me share my screen here. Okay. Cool. Okay. See how header 1? So this is header 1, the biggest one, right? Going to header 2, header 3, header 4, header 5, header 6, and that's paragraph right there. That's what you're going to use basically for any body of paragraph. Let's say, for example, I have topic. Cheese. Okay, so you cheese as header 1. That's the topic we're talking about, right? And then we go to header 2. Next up will be header 2. It could be cheese. Yeah. What?
Type of cheese.
Yeah, I'm gonna say type of cheese. Yeah, I'm gonna say type of cheese. But let's say let's just say a type of cheese. Let's do type of cheese. Type of cheese would be header 2 because that's kind of the next category we want to talk about basically. That's
okay.
what we want to talk about next. So type of cheese. And then I'll put header 3. So let me mark this as header 1, header 2, and then header 3. I'll make American cheese. Let's say American cheese. Why not? And then below it will be a paragraph, and we'll just talk about what American cheese is. Now, this is the most weakest cheese in the life of America. Sorry, I don't like American cheese. I like cheddar. Or provolone, or something better than American. But yeah, that's basically kind of like the format you would want on a website with the headers, paragraphs, because we're kind of going by importance. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. The importance. So back to the code. This is kind of how you code again. You have an open tag, so whatever it is. So header 1, H1. Web div, that's the content. Closing tag H1 with a /. Now, let's do list. How do we make a list? Does anyone know how to make a list actually? Order or unordered? I'm gonna go first.
Let's talk first one, list of.
Unordered do you want to do?
Unordered.
All right, unordered. Do you know how to make one or?
Sure.
All right.
And
Let's see. And then your closing tag,
Okay.
and this is gonna denote that you wanna make a list. But we're actually not gonna be doing the list right back because you just have a list with nothing in it.
Exactly. I was gonna say. So first, you want to identify the list you want to make. Either OL or L or UL. OL is ordered list. UL is unordered list. Ordered list is basically numbering from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unordered is bullet points. Bullet points. Bullet points. Bullet points. Now, when we get to the CSS, we'll understand how to change an ordered list from 1, 2, 3 to ABC, or an unordered list from dots to squares. We'll get to that later, but let's get to the basics. He's doing it correctly right now. This right here. But you got the unordered list. Now, we're close with this. We're close.
You can't put both in the same list.
So really quick, I just wanna go over something, because you're very close, you are very close. So, first, let's define our list. Let's say we want to do an unordered list. We will have our open tag, erase this, our open tag, and then you were close to what I was saying. Now, indentation, L, capital, we don't do capital. Li. That's called list item. So that's what we're gonna put our content to have, to identify what, like the number one, what's number two. So let's say we say American cheese. We're gonna do cheese again. American cheese, and then we'll have our closing tag, list item. And then boom, unordered, that means it will represent as American cheese. It'll be a dot American cheese. Bullet point. That's how it's gonna compile that. And then have your, closing tag. Now, something that's cool about HTML is usually, I'm gonna just say this, don't use this as a practice if you practice. But HTML can kind of recognize when you already have a closing tag or without a closing tag. So let's say like I can be like P, and that's it. It will recognize the ending of that paragraph as bad practice. You really want to know when your closing tag is, just because sometimes, yes, some tags can combine and it'll be like using a semicolon, right? Like using a semicolon. Yeah, I mean, C++ reading like the C++ means. Yeah, I mean, technically, if you get a compile error, the C++, you don't have a semicolon. This, you don't get it here. But it's just good to reference when you're closing. Now, nesting. Nesting. So let's say I want to make a list, right, where I'm saying, hey, I like American cheese, and then I want a bullet point saying why I like it, like an indentation next to it. Kind of same concept with what we just did. We will put our order list tag, right? And then we'll put our list item with American cheese, right? But I'm not going to keep writing out American cheese. I feel like I'm going to max out now. So we'll put American cheese, and now under it, same indentation, we'll put UL, and then we'll have our closing right here. And then our list item of why we take American cheese. And then, boom. And then we'll have also then the closing tag of the order list below the UL. So that's called nesting. We're nesting a list. So I want to show an example of what I have here. OL versus UL. So as you can see, I have, this is like, I think this is like my favorite movies. I only have two guys. But also, if you guys have live preview, right click, show preview, it'll basically make a local host of the website we're making. But as you can see, I have an order list. Then, well, an order list, and then I have a list item interstellar. Then below it, actually, with good practice, as you can see, I have LI, but I don't have a closing tag until I get to down here. It's actually good practice to to organize your code, just to make sure you're not mixing your code up a little bit. That's kind of why, for at least. Anyways, then you have an unordered list with your bullet points of why you like Interstellar, and then boom. That's it. Does that make sense, kind of? I'm kind of going a little fast. I'm just trying to show as much concept as I can until we get to this practice. That good so far? Yeah? Awesome, awesome. All right. Let's talk about now anchor tags. These are kind of the more important tag. This is kind of an important tag. This is kind of when you, an anchor tag is basically how you traverse through a website. So if you link, you press on it. If you have a nav bar that takes you to another part of your site, back to top. Or back to top. Yes, actually yes. So, I'm gonna just show you, not the code yet, let me just show you the preview. Let me see what the chat's saying. Chat, what's up, chat? Yo, chat. It's black screen. All right. So I have two links here. They have this ugly blue. Like I said, when we get to CSS, we'll understand how to delete the text decoration. I'm gonna give you that CSS code though. I don't want to see that on the project we're going to make right now. But if I press this link, it'll take me to the uselesswebsite.com. And then, oh, that's, where did it go? Oh, I forgot to actually say that. And then if I press Google, it can go to Google. I guess I didn't code that. But how do we code that? We use the A tag. So we'll have an open tag with A, but we don't close it yet because we want to put our href attribute. What href does is basically, you basically put a link into the href, and it tells the tag like, hey, we're gonna go to Google, or we're gonna go to a specific file in our website, because not only can we use public websites that are already out there, but we can use our files as well to traverse through our files. So yeah, href is pretty good. You want href. The definition I got down here, let me just get you guys the definition. An attribute for an anchor tag to link to another page, basically called an hypertext reference. So I guess I didn't really put one example that I wanted to put, but we'll put it right here. So let's code in. So I'm going to make this kind of a big text. So I'm going to put H1 first, so we can make it as bold and big as possible. Then we're going to put an A tag. It automatically puts a closing tag as well. That's what I like about VS Code, so that's dope. Now we're going to put href equals, I'm going to put a public file actually, dot slash, I'm going to do image.html. I'll show you what it is. So this right here, so that's the tag that the anchor tag. That's the anchor tag. So as you can see, H1, that's called our header tag. That's what makes it bold or big. And then the A is our anchor tag. It just basically calls for it to be an anchor tag. And the href is that attribute. So there's tags, and then there's attributes for tags, or to do special things such as the anchor tag and href. And you can also do anchor tags. Download equals, but you can do download, which basically when you press a link, or like a link, yeah, we'll call it a link. When you press this, I'll download the page that I link it to. So I'll show that later. Oh. How's it going? Good, man. How are you? Doing well. I'm stressing here. All right, but anyway, so we want to link our image.html, so that's our local file. I have this / to represent that I want it to be in my current file that I am right now. That's what the dot means. That means current, and then the file that I want. If you want to go out of the file to, let's say, a new, I mean, it's not a good example, but you can use it. You can use dot. That will go out of the folder we're already currently in. So let's say if this was a folder, it'll go out of that folder, and then we can link it to whatever else we have that's outside of the folder. But that's already going too far into what I wanted to talk about. So image.html, and then in between the H1 and A or anchor tag, we'll put another website. So again, we're putting an element, or we're putting a content into an element, or into a tag, between a tag. See, I'm not talking now. But like I said, we put a tag, content, tag. You always want to have content in your tags, depending on what we're doing. unless we have self-closing tag, we'll go over later. So, show preview, another website, we'll go to the blank website, we haven't coded it yet. We'll code, but we're gonna show it. Any questions about anchor tag? Cool. Is it confusing or good? Yeah. So I might. Huh? So anchor tag is it basically just all right. I just explained it. It just basically gets it's a hypertext. It gets you from one page to another. Yeah. That's called our tag, the A tag. Any more questions?
So those links are connections to your folder and your documents.
Second.
Those links you put on the anchor tab.
So this href, you talking about href?
Yeah, are connections to your folder.
So it could be either a public website, so like this is just Google, or it could be anything in your folder as well, such as the HTML we have. It could also, actually, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna test that. Also, as you can see, I also have a target. That's another attribute, and I'll give you a website that you can see all the tags attributes. Each tag has different attributes. Not every tag will have a target tag or a target attribute. Not every tag will have an href. But anchor tag does have a target, and what this target does is it's going to control how we put the link. Now let me kind of elaborate on that. As you can see, it says target equals self, underscore self. When I press that link, it loads a different page on the same tab. Now, let's say I change it to another one. So if I do underscore, and it'll pull up all the types I can use, but I'm going to just use pair or blank as the next example. Now, underscore blank, let me refresh it. Now that goes into a new tab. So what I'm trying to say basically is, if you research your attributes on each tag, they will have different ways to control your website. Just, let's say the anchor tag, you didn't want to load on top of another page. You want to do new tab, control that. So I'll give you a website that gives you a good reference on each tag. Any more questions? All right. So, now Phyllis here to help me too. He said you would help me. I was going past him, Phil. You want to say?
Oh, I don't know what to say. Everything you said was absolutely correct. A good way of visualizing target is target basically references where the hypertext is going over. So the way I usually imagine it is when you have underscore self, it's going to open that link in the tab currently where the document is coming out. And blank opens a blank tab to open there. Like that's usually how I make the mental separation.
Thank you. All right. Some more key tags we're going to go over. And now I want you guys to also understand we are coders, and we kind of won't be able to memorize all this. And I'm trying to go over the important tags, but there are like, I'd say a lot of tags. There's a lot of tags. So I'm just giving you the important ones so we can do this project, mini project that we want to do at the end. But I'm going to give you this website. Use the website when we make this project. Your code, your reference. So use it. It's a great website. And I'm going to probably keep going over and over. Anyway, so the image. How do we make an image? Does anyone know how to make an image?
Third in the ChatGPT.
That's a great one. That's a classic. No, so we're not going to do that. We're good coders. We're not bad coders now. All right, walk me through how to make an image.
That's second. Sorry, that's
I got you. All right.
image. Now, full word image.
Okay, just image. I'm going to give you a hint. I have an image.
All right, and then scroll. That's of course.
Okay.
And then you make source of that file, kind of like we do for egress.
Okay, yeah, so, oh, yeah, okay. And then,
Just right drag it, self-close it.
awesome. So, amazing, yes. So this is called a self-closing tag. There's many self-closing tags like VR, which does a break, what's the break? Line break, right, well, yeah, so it just basically makes you go to the next line. There's also HR, which is a horizontal line on your page. A self-closing tag is just one tag at the end has or a forward slash. Anyways, so back to the image part. You're right. It's going to be ing to indicate we're using the image tag. We're going to need a source. The good thing about it could be also in your files, a picture. So link it to the file, or it could be from Google or a picture from a website. So you just copy and paste. When you right click on an image, you'll see copy image address. You know, press that and then put it in source. Now, for good practice for any accessibility that your website needs, you also want to add alt. And alt.
This is always best practice.
Best practice, yes, correct. And you're going to put a description of that picture. It doesn't have to be too detailed, like a paragraph, but be detailed because it helps. It's for any voiceovers. Let's say people can't see the website, then they need to use a they're called voiceover or screen reader. Sorry, screen reader, and that screen reader will read the picture. So it's just for accessibility purposes. Or if it doesn't load, as well, it'll just replace it with the chat. So that's how we make an image. We make an image right now. I do have, and this is actually going to show us like a filing system. I have a Lego game tag in this folder, etc. So, image. I like to close my right away because I'm weird. So, source equals / etc. So that's my folder that I have. Now we're entered into a folder. / and already boom, it pops up all my what's in the folder. So Lego.jpg. Now, and then I also want to add alt equals Lego man doing something silly. Put that there. Now we have an image. I'm not going to show you the preview because now we're going to use that anchor command that we have. So show preview on the anchor again. We copy and paste it. So we have that. So remember that we anchored our image HTML into another website. Let's press it now. Last time it was Blink. Now this is a Lego doing something silly, eating some Pringles. So we basically I just demonstrate you guys how to go from one web page to another and also add an image to a web page. Any questions with that? No? Perfect. So we're about to do that project that I want to do. There's a couple things I want to go over. Boilerplate. You can go over the boilerplate? Okay. All right, so what's very important to adding HTML in any website you do is the HTML boilerplate. Sounds kind of menacing, but it's not. What am I doing? Okay, so I'm going to just press Shift-1, we'll give me the exclamation mark, enter, and it'll generate a boilerplate. This is standard in any HTML website, and I'll tell you why. So we got the doc type HTML. That's going to tell the browser, which is Google, that we're using HTML5 to make our website. Very important to start, basically initialize it for our website. HTML lang equals English is going to be, that's going to be our website in English. That helps for search engine accessibility. It'll help that. And also, yeah, this specifies the language. It also just helps for the SEO and the accessibility. just repeating myself. So, going down, something very important I want to just point out. This right here is going to help us for optimization. What's the word I'm looking for?
Word optimization. Like the,
I'm trying to
the device.
Yeah, devices like different websites. That's specifically what I'm trying to find. Like, okay, but it helps us optimize the sizes of our devices. So scalability, yes. So this is going to take our viewport and our width of the device, and initial scale of 1.0. That means how zoomed in are we going to be in this website? So right now it's 100%. We can change that to 200%. But that just helps us optimize us for each device. We'll touch on that later. We want to talk about optimization. We'll talk about it.
Definitely something we want to discuss more in detail a little later, right? Especially when we get into beyond basic, CSS, JavaScript, and React. They have a lot of things built in to make the design more responsive. So this is an example of something that is on the browser, what to expect as far as the size of the content is going to be. That way you won't have to do with anything. Working off the page, anything stretching or being just mess with it.
Right. Now, title right here. This is going to be the tab. When you see that tab, you see Google or whatever. No. So we have a title document. That's going to be the tab. That title and the tab. So you can put my portfolio when you'll see my portfolio tag. It's kind of just something little. Don't put any like paragraph in this, please. No one's going to see it. And then that's going to be a closing tag for header or head, as we call it. So this is just basically invisible stuff. You're not going to. No one's going to see it except yourself or except the title. Now the body is where we're going to put that content in HTML. So all that paragraphs that we talked about, headers that we talked about, anchor tag, that's all going to be in this body text. And then that closing tag is when we're done with the website. Same with the closing tag with HTML, we're just basically wrapping up this whole website. That means we wrap up the whole website.
Something I would like to mention. So there is actually, you see a body there, but there is actually a header. And there is also a footer. There's actually also a header and footer. If I remember correctly, these are semantic. I don't think they actually have any default styling. Right? Yeah. So they're the only ones that semantics. One of those things to inform the browser, inform screen readers and SEO exactly what's in each section. But it doesn't actually have any default style. I would say this is different from something like an H1, H2, H3, which does have style. Section. A little different semantic tags that they're more for optimization, right? Optimization, well, that's it. Don't just use H1.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Thank you for putting that out. I was going to actually put a curveball for that project saying use a footer, you have to research. But I'm not ready to go over this wrong in a way. Appreciate that. But yes. That's the boilerplate. Again, very standard on each website, always included on your websites.
You will have problems when you don't start this way.
Exactly.
Honestly, I would always recommend.
Unless you do a local project.
Yeah, just start with this and then build on top of this. Most times, if you can afford to. So, of course.
Now, one other thing I do want to say is, this is kind of very minor. We'll go over this again, kind of more, not in depth, but like when we initialize a project or website for GitHub, make it like a website. But you always want to have an index.html. That's your first file. It should always be an index.html. That's standard. It's standard. That's how GitHub, let's say, for example, reads what's the first page to load on the website. Index.html. All right, though. Let's do a project. Let's do a little project. Again, Phil will be here. I will be here. We'll help you guys out. Again, I want to just go over some basic concepts, and now I want you guys to get hands-on and struggle a little. So we're going to make a resume. Let me pull up an example resume. We're going to make this is John Doe. No. I didn't make this. This is, I took a course online and I'm kind of using something to do. So we're gonna make a resume. So we have a summary saying I'm a hard worker and dedicated individual with experience in customer service administration. Put your education, work experiences, skills, all the goodies. But let's note that you see the headers. So make sure we use the importance of headers. What's the most important header? Like I said, use only one header one. If you use multiple header ones, I'll be mad. But you got your header 1, header 2 for the summary, education, and work experience. You got your header 3 right over here. You also don't forget you have an unordered list. I'm not going to spoil everything, but I'm just kind of pointing it out. Now, some requirements when we make this. Add a profile picture. I don't care if it's from the internet or if it's yourself. Just add a profile picture. Add a footer. And I'll show you the website to research some of these concepts that I'm about to say. I'm just going to throw a curveball. I want you guys to learn how to look at a reference website and learn from that, not just from someone speaking. So add a footer. Also add a button to link your projects. Now, obviously, there's no, I don't know if there's any projects on here, but add a project on your resume, and I want you to add a button. There's a specific tag for buttons. I want you to add a below project, and that should link to the GitHub of that project. Optional, add a button to download your whole resume. But just have a summary, some skills, projects, work experience, whatever you all want to put. You're the designer. At the end of the day, the biggest thing about front-end designing is you're the designer. Use your own judgment. Add whatever you think you need to add and style it. You can always look at references, but to be a better designer is to do your own thing or your own design. And use lists. That's it. Make sure you're coding in VS Code or WebStorm. Those are the ones who I know. If you know any other, I did too. And yeah, I'll be around. If you have any questions, please ask now or later.
Is there a VS Code web browser version?
I don't know.
There is. Was it? There's quick to install.
It's just not the same.
Oh, as well.
I'm not too sure, but I mean, just.
Oh, wait. We go.
You got it?
Yeah, .dev.
Oh, yeah,
VS
perfect.
Code .dev.
There you go. Yeah. All right, so yeah, have fun with it. Design it. Again, this is the most kind of simple topic we're gonna go through. Just because it's HTML. I mean, really simple. Tag, open tag, elements, whatever. CSS is going to get kind of complicated. Yeah, we'll get a little more interesting later down the line. I'll be quiet before I do anything more. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah. This is the reference website I'm talking about also. Very great reference website. It has every single tag in HTML. It also even has any outdated HTML tags. It'll tell which one's outdated you can't use on Go anymore. But MDN, just search MDN HTML reference. Main website, I use it when I code. Look for that button, what I was talking about. This specific button tag, look for it and use it. And it'll tell you. It says, let's say for example, I click on that anchor tag. Let's go to the anchor tag. It'll tell you what the anchor tag does, how to put it in with this demo code, and also the attributes. So you got that, what was that, href. You have the href attribute that I was talking about. You also got the target attribute. So it says attributes, how to use it. So very great website. I'll leave it up right here for you guys to use it. Yeah, you just have. Oh yeah, into it, yeah.
Actually,
Again? Yeah, for your.
what were you saying then? Oh, I'm asking.
Yeah. I'm making sure I'm on the right.
Good. Just, not sure. I'm gonna start. What do you say? Just starting. Yeah. I would.
Also, just probably all things, right? We're not going to get to CSS at the moment, so I'll just give you the aspects, right? So we're going to add an attribute called style into the image. So the image and all the sources.
Yeah, I actually.
And then I want you guys to just do style equal quotation height is going to be I'll do 100 pixels and width will be 100 pixels.
You know what though? Yeah.
So that's the kind of a code, CSS, full CSS code, inline code. Use it up for your image because your image will be really huge. So style equals quotation height, 100 pixels, width, 100 pixels.
So here,
Just. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah. So Oh, you mean the example? Oh, you mean the example? Okay. Hold it one more time. Yeah. But again, you guys are the designers, so design it however you guys want. It's just a resume. That's all you gotta do. It's just a resume. But I'll pull it up time. Right here. So just like that. Don't worry about styling. You want style is really the picture, like I said, it's gonna be huge. But other than that, don't worry about the styling. Use your endpoints and us talk those self-closing tags like the line, which is H. No, HR. I forgot, but use your use the closing stuff like that. I don't have a reference page now. Just reference.
Good job, Microsoft.
Oh, you didn't say that.
Yeah.
So, just turn to that. Turn into, let's try that. No, try again. Now, let's just download. Oh my God. This is gonna be a week for your this. Now go back on index and write balance. Now you don't have to ever say, now you just keep writing. Yeah.
I'm also into the best. This year I did
Yeah, so you see, so you mean like, how do you address,
where you would.
Oh, yeah. You see, yeah, the real one. Now, are we listing something else? Or are we just running another list? Or are you gonna put, yeah, and you're always gonna go by organization. You have your summary, education, work experience, that's maybe alternatives too, because we're talking about category up here. Now, we have another category that's not very good. They can't say everything. Yeah, that's not less. Now, let's say you want to now ask contract, it's not a category, or you're gonna put paragraph, which is,
It could be efficient.
yeah, that's
Yeah, I think it'd be useful.
That's where you write all your,
It's true.
let's say, no, that's that, I don't.
Oh, really?
How-
Oh, you said just something from the internet.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not making any those kids, it's a little less. So we're not there, no, we're just doing something basic, right now we're doing basic, for me, it's just, that's gonna be really, let's say it's gonna be intense. So let's just do the basic, let's see assess for the moment. It's only resume, that's all it is.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
Yeah, so image, source, and then all this. Yes, always have all, it's the best practice, you never don't want to. Yeah, it's good practice, and then and then close it, with a forward slash. Just to indicate that we're closing. Awesome, right? Yeah. Thank you, Jared. I'm not. Yeah, so yeah, you want to go to header one, I'll say this, header one, you have one header one in your file. Because that's going to be most important. Put these things next to it, I got down there. Header two, summary education, where you change this group of topics that was not better, right? So let's say we do that right now, and you go down and that way you know not get. And then if we want to put paragraphs, we will be paragraphs.
Really.
Yeah. He said that's where it's complicated.
The reference.
This is really, it's more standard.
Yes,
We're just,
use that.
it's not really super complex. Like CodeWise, so it's complications with JavaScript to add functionalities.
I was thinking to show you all this.
That's what, I mean, so look at what the tab.
And then you have, also HR. So look at that's the, as you can see, you see how Jendo has also like that. Yeah, make it as hard as it wants.
Not like I'm starting, so I'm not there yet. Yeah. So like all I have is, okay, I downloaded VS Code, made my new folder, awesome. VS Code practice.
So, awesome. One mistake, that's not a big deal at all. When we do a new file, you always wanna have dot, whatever the coding means. So, it's gonna be HTML, so it's gonna be index.html. VS Code will be like, okay, cool, we're using HTML to code this, and then that's when you start with that. Now, to make that file include. So we have to index.html. Perfect. You see how that icon changes? That's indicating that, hey, we're gonna be coding now, the big dogs here.
Gotcha.
And now let's make our boilerplate. Do you remember the boilerplate, how we made it?
No.
Okay, so it's gonna be shift one, and then enter. Boom, that body will happen. Like I said, we only wanna focus when we write into that body paragraph.
Okay.
Now, were you here when we talked about headers?
I was here for that, yeah.
Okay, so now what do you think first we have to do? Let's look at Django. They have, Django with the biggest heading, so we're gonna start with header one.
Or the title. Is
So
that right?
all the way to the top, you see resume, the tab next to the YouTube.
Oh, yes.
So that's what the title
Yeah.
will do. It's just gonna change the tab.
And by this right here, I can put in my name. There.
Yes. No. We'll put it in between right here. So documents, we'll change the documents into your name. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's gonna be the content. Don't forget, we have our opening tag, opening tag, closing tag, and then our content of that tag. That tag is just calling, hey, we're gonna be using an anchor to go to a new website, or we're gonna be using a header to make it bigger.
Yeah. Okay, so then with I got it, with the body, you have like a first part and then a second part, or is it?
So, you can't see it a little way, but you see that's an opening tag and that's a close tag. So we want to put all the content that we're gonna put in our website in between the body.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Oh, yes. And here.
Yeah, that's just invisible. You don't have to worry about the header part. That is literally that's what people say. Don't worry about it really. Until we get to the more complicated topic.
Okay, but after this, I want to put header. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. You see the opening tag already, fit, and then you just put whatever you want.
Yeah. There we go. And I don't have to use parentheses, or should I?
No, nothing. So, do you have a live preview installed as well with them?
What is it?
It's an extension in VS Code.
No, I just downloaded
Okay,
it.
perfect. So go to extensions right here.
Okay.
Type in live code. Or live preview, sorry.
Okay.
And let's install that one right there, yeah. So what that does is now we don't have to always save and then go into our files to find the index that we're talking about. All we gotta do now is right click, show preview, and boom, our website's right here.
Yes.
There it is. And that's our header right there.
That's all.
Yeah. Preview. Do you have the extension? Okay, so go to extension, live preview settings. And then you install that one. And now go back to the index. Right click. Show preview. Bang. Yep, there you go. But that looks like your source is not correct. Oh, your body is doing your body. Do this. Bang. You see the difference between this boilerplate and this yours? We have this right. The language, make sure you have equal sign in English. Then we have the meta. This meta, I didn't get over it, but this tells Google that we're using it to a super character, which is UTF-8. And then you see body, it looks like it's using that body, so then it doesn't translate. It's just kind of a good stroke, right? Guys, obviously, HTML is one of those like isn't strict, but we need it. You know? Let's copy and paste that. Let me see what's going on. Well, this is,
How do you think my resume looks?
so yeah, it looks like something's going on with that image file.
I like my job as.
Yeah, launching the advertising.
What happened? It's not finished, right? Yeah, I got fired.
It looks like there's something going on with your source.
No, there's nowhere at all except.
Control, click on that.
Okay, fantastic.
So let's download that. How about you download that and then put that in your file?
Go listen to the Christmas.
Go to file, save as, perfect, yeah. Now, when it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're actually supposed to, or not, whatever, but the basic. It also even supports GIFs. GIFs, so if you want it for a GIF, put it in there and it'll work without any struggle.
Let's do it so web. No.
This is.
Web.
No, I got those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that actually
Okay, so actually, how do I do that? So I've got.
So, image, so this is one of the kind of images and stuff. You don't actually need the image open and closed. It can all be in one. So now we're gonna put a forward slash to indicate it's self-closing. And now you're gonna put the content source equals.
So I am.
No, that was IMG space. Because IMGs, these are the ones compared to the source, that light blue one. So IMG, imagine IMG, you're telling the compiler, hey, I need a, and then space your attributes, which would be source, all.
It's like the action.
Yeah, the action, the action, exactly. So yeah, space, source, and then ends also. So we want to classify what is attribute, like how we use attribute. So that's what we use equals. Yeah, and then we do a link to where.
So if I have it here, I'm doing.
Yeah. So first, let's get this image into your folder.
This folder.
Your
VS Code practice.
Yeah, VS Code practice. Boom, now we're into it, we go back in. Now, when we have a picture, you want to make sure we set separate folders as well in the folder. Just for organization purposes. Yeah. So yeah, you can put either pictures or content, whatever you want to name the folder. And then just to organize it, it's something, it takes 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
Okay. So then now we're gonna put dot slash I'm indicating we're gonna stay in the folder right now. That we're in. So then do pictures. Just has tab right there. Just gonna put it, yeah. And then it already automatically says what's in the pictures.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice. Now how do I make it small?
Yeah, perfect. So now we need a new attribute. We call this attribute technically, or we call it style.
Okay, space.
Style. And then we'll do like.
Like quotation marks?
Yep,
Yeah.
and then, the colon. Now we're gonna set. Or still keeping the quotation. Then we do with 8 or 100 years. Sorry. Okay. I think I did that wrong. I think I did that wrong.
And also, it looks like we're in the pictures folder right now.
No, that's just,
That's Josh.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I.
Where's your delete?
They're
Where's your
just,
delete button?
it's the same as it's just based on the browser.
Hold on,
What is it?
So it's
It's just gonna sign up.
So you see how this is like, it's like kind of, you see that box that's really weird? It's called the delete box, it's kind of an annoying. Just like, see, it's like overlapping now.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's hard.
Not like. Not
We have
all
to
the
do.
It's the delete, it's the delete button, but I don't know the key
That's
behind.
not so much.
You look it up.
Well, it's supposed to be that, but what I'm doing right now, it's just, it's being weird right now.
Yeah, no.
You wanna look it up then?
Yeah.
I know they do it, you know, on a PC, it's one on two.
So if you don't put something inside of it.
How to.
If I was to put like.
Oh, I think.
Under the or no, how do,
What do you call that? Like the-
I don't know, I call it the delete button, I don't know.
The type.
It's just for.
Overlap.
So.
What we use the
I would use.
What is it?
This is gonna be one of those.
VS Code.
Like this is like most all one. A lot of times we're pages and it's just a bunch of things that have classes.
Oh, is it insert? Oh my gosh. It's the wrong one. Okay. So do we go back?
It's like the main.
Just.
And you.
Okay, so.
Is.
We did get rid of body.
So if I could
This
put.
is all, this was all to do.
Yeah, true.
I put in your.
I made the mistake. Yeah, just be clear.
It doesn't create no line break. This is like, this is.
Styles equals, there we go, width, and then 100 pixels.
You can use.
Right. And then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, perfect. I don't know how, I don't know what the first time we did it.
And this is saying that it's the end of this.
Yeah, so actually, great question.
Yeah.
So we use semicolons to separate different style functions. So we have width at 100 pixels, and then we're gonna do the length.
Yeah, and now everything's inside there.
100 pixels. Which we don't have to technically, because this is a formatter already, but that's basically, yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, just, how do you do those lines?
HR. We're gonna do HR. And then the self-clothing, so it's indicated.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I got this.
Awesome, all right, yeah, very much. Okay. Yeah. So here, this is kind of that, remember that when I was kind of going a little confusing with the filtering system? I was like, I'm going a little ahead. Perfect example though, this is exactly the example. So you have index.html installed. Not a bad idea at all. Good practice, I would index.html the first thing in a folder. Don't make a folder. But let's for the example, we need to get out of this folder. The dot only means current folder. If we want to get out of the index folder that you have, the index HTML, double that. There you go, and look, it appeared. No, so we need to separate. Oh, it's closed, sorry, it's closed. Style, because right now, not, pixel, semi-closed. There you go, yeah. It's supposed to have that, it's a white box right now, instead of it, if you don't have the overlay. Is there anything that you? We're just gonna press.
Yeah, I got a quick question. Yes, so, we can go back here. Okay. So it's, what would be the, proper?
So the header that you did on outside of body and the header that you're trying to do is two different. The header that you put over here is gonna be, it will appear on your website all the time. Imagine like you can work that header, that annoying thing you press on accident that, it logs onto when you type in it, that's a header. You wanna make sure you wanna bold headers. Yes, you're gonna replace header with H space for summary. Let's say summary, for example. Do H2 actually.
H2.
Yeah.
So, then I have to do that.
Yeah, just to get the copy and paste the copy, this whole line.
Why that, what did I do H1?
That's what I was saying, yeah, H1, yeah, H1. Perfect.
Why it's here?
Yeah, leave that. Oh, really? Yeah, leave that. You're gonna want to put that all the way in the bottom.
Oh, probably because of,
When we were doing it, when we were messing up.
so then this goes down here.
Yeah. No, just go back. We're gonna type in, closing tag, or please. Well, like that first thing. Awesome, there you go. Now we get.
Because it starts here.
Yeah.
And
And right there, yep, exactly.
all right, cool.
Yeah.
And then for the next one, okay, so under summary, what is that?
So that's a paragraph.
So.
So it'd be P.
Oh, P.
Yeah. Remember, key, kind of skill for designing. You want to go header one once only on the web page, and then from most important to least important for headers. H1, H2, H4, H5, H6. Most important to least important.
But I can reuse them actually.
Yeah. So H2 and below, reuse it. Yes. Not H1. H1 should be the main topic. You don't want to reuse H1. So let's say like how summary, education, and work experience as a group of kind of categorizes your resume, that'll be H2. But you see under work experience that I think it says customer service or something, it'll be H3 then.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Thank you. No worries.
They do, man. Going crazy on my phone. Right. Nice, yeah. Yeah, so
Space yeah.
How I did my button was I did a button and then I put it
Which
in
one?
between
This.
So I put H1 button, open tag,
So I did H1.
open tag, anchor, and then
What, and the next one.
close the anchor, close the button.
That was what I'm trying to.
Now, yes, if MDN looks at it, I don't know what it is, but we're right at that. So class, with class, there's really, we haven't worked on it, but I think maybe let's see if that's, we're defining a class, let's see if that. We're not even, more about the class.
But why be
It
is.
looks like they don't really have anything really linked to that button at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
Basically, the source.
So basically just do button,
there you go.
anchor, and, close anchor, and close button, and enter button.
What's like the, like, is it like a header or whatever? What's the one for hanger?
Oh, it's A.
Oh, it's a.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
I
And you know how to use
can't
an anchor tag, right?
No, I can't actually.
Oh,
So it's
So
like-
an
it's
anchor
like-
tag, the definition, or at least my way of defining it, is a way to link another webpage to the next one, right?
Oh, okay.
Right. So we use href, that's called a hypertext reference. Href equals quotations, then the website, or the HTML. If we have another HTML in our folder that we wanna link it to, because it links to local files as well. End quotes, and that's it, that's your anchor tag now. Now put content in it so we can press on a text at least. If you don't put content, there's nowhere to press that anchor now.
Yeah.
But that button is supposed to simulate that, but anchor just puts some text in it, so it makes it big.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Actually, that was a lot.
No worries.
About me or?
How you doing, man? What's going on? What's going on? So what are we struggling with? So right now, where is your picture? Is it in a folder or is it just near the HTML? Okay, perfect. Let me double check really quick.
I don't pay. I pay
Looks like you're in a folder, a projects folder. So it looks like you're just in your local folders. I would recommend, let's not restart, copy this code. And then do file. No, so you're just making a new folder in your projects, like local projects folder. I'd say, not file, sorry, file, and then we're gonna do new window. Perfect, and now we're gonna do,
Yesterday, I spent an hour trying to.
open file, folder, the open folder, and then let's go to documents, and then right click on documents, just right click on it. We're gonna make a new folder, basically. New folder, and then name it, I don't know, some HTML practice. Right there. That's fine, just make it a new folder, yeah, that's fine. Now select folder. And now boom, now we have a clean slate, there's no folder now. So, let's make a new file, called index.html. Remember index, you always need an index. Because that's how like most people, the way we upload a web page will read an index first. Now let's copy and paste that code. I don't wanna waste pages row. So just do Control A on that folder. It's a shortcut to highlight the whole file. And now Control V,
Do you use Windows for?
bam, now we're in it again.
Okay.
And now that picture you downloaded, locate the folder and then drag that picture on this folder. And now do the same code, that source code that we did, but format it to the correct. Y'all done?
Yeah,
We wanna show it, y'all wanna show what y'all made?
I already showed a couple people.
No, I'm saying y'all wanna show it up there.
Because this is how.
He wants to see it.
Yeah.
So y'all gonna come back to the next week?
Yeah, we will.
I was last week.
All right, perfect. Well, I'll see you next Thursday. We'll be going over into the CSS.
Yeah.
So,
Depends. Can you center that blind?
say again?
Can you center the blinds behind you? Then I'll go.
Yes, I will.
Gotcha.
All right, so let's go back. So we don't need that et cetera anymore. So just basically delete the whole source. Oh, boom, right there. Yeah, no, you're good. So that dot slash is gonna be, you're in that current folder, and then next to it will be the image file, which we basically did, and that's it.
This is the one.
Don't get colons.
I just installed.
So use height colon and then 100 pixels.
This is the one. Live server, it makes it so that,
Yo,
when we make a change, it just pops up like.
Boom.
have you done this?
Basically, what you want.
And then semicolon,
Okay, cool. How do you do the?
semicolon between width and.
Oh, so there's two
Live server.
types of.
That's not how I'm building it. Short preview.
Boom. There you go, now put 100 pixels.
Well, makes it.
Even when you did it originally, you just copy the path. Sometimes you have this really long.
There you go. Got a profile picture.
No,
Okay.
so.
How you doing?
Something.
Good,
Yeah.
In my. Number one.
All right, I remember like good math, it's just, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Come back.
Yeah.
Hopefully my lecture that I know is already.
You haven't seen good to me, I know when I did the physical way, we did then, we would just like show us how to do it, and then you would have like this book, like a PDF of a book.
Yeah.
And you just really just copy what they did there,
Yeah.
and then just do it. So what I'm saying is the best way to do it is like.
Yeah.
But so yeah, so I mean, granted, based on that, like whatever you do, as long as it's not like, hey, look at this, copy this.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I just try to get as basic knowledge as you can, and then you reference, make a project like this.
Yeah.
Like next Thursday, we'll be doing a flag, we're gonna need a flag, CSS code.
Like actual
Like a flag.
country flag?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know which one.
Our set is the.
No, I'm saying like we'll use like a reference, like book, like let's say MDN, like the MDN website I'm talking about. We'll just use that reference to make it flag based. But I'll give you the concept of CSS.
Yeah.
But it'll be a little bit more challenged. It sounds easy in a way because you're just putting color. But the trick is that we're gonna use only 2 divs or 3 divs to make a flag, which is a little harder than you think.
Browser window.
Let's do that, honestly.
I'll show you.
I know divs are very.
Yeah. But you'll see. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great practice. But it looks good. You have any questions about this anyone?
Not necessarily about this, but like, I guess like, I don't know, I felt like the entire thing, you know, like going, I know we'll do CSS and stuff, right?
So these are required.
Actually, I guess on top of CSS, like, yeah, you know, you can do both inline CSS as well as in a different like file. Is there like one, like, is there situations where you prefer doing the CSS in the HTML rather than doing it, you know, as a separate file, or like?
So, yeah, if you're doing minor changes into your header, let's say like your H1 has like a bunch of styling, or let's say your H2 has a bunch of styling, but a specific H2 that you want to change, you just do an inline then instead. So like, let's say like every H2 is blue, but this specific H2 getting lower down the page wants to be green. So then you would just do an inline, you know?
That's how it works with like overriding and stuff, because you have like the H2 I guess rule.
So
like-
that's the beauty of cascading. Or cascading is basically, it's like a waterfall. It'll go from importance to
It's called.
I forgot the way. I'll make sure I have it down.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
But what I'm saying is
But I would mention too.
I'm pretty sure it goes from file to .css file, right? And then whatever inline it overrides.
So the CSS overrides the inline?
Yeah. Oh no, I think the inline overrides the CSS.
Oh, okay, yeah, 'cause I was like, that would make.
No, the inline overrides the CSS, but there's also an out, I think it's called
No.
interior. An interior CSS where you just put it above the header, or above the
Above like the
the
entire,
body,
like.
above the body. You just put a CSS styling
Would that be in
above the
the head
body.
section? So I think it doesn't really matter where.
I think the head section is when you define the style sheet of that CSS.
Yeah.
I think you just gotta do it above the body.
Oh,
Yeah, you
LL,
got
and then you
styles, open tag, and then style coding tag in between that body, you just kind of put your style.
oh,
Yeah. But
To the text inside.
yeah, there are different ways to use it. You usually don't want to use an in style sheet. Into your style sheet, only like an out style sheet, so like
Yeah.
those follow inline. For any sort of functions like I just mentioned. But I know React, and I'm pretty sure it does inline static things.
That was gonna be my next question as well, it's like, cause I've never used React, I know like JavaScript,
Yeah.
I kind of assumed JavaScript was kind of like the main.
Right.
But what is like React, like, I don't know, what is?
We'll go over that, I don't wanna really, so the reason why we're not doing React is because I feel like the basics are always the best, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. But I also don't have enough information to just teach about React, I'm learning about it right now. to be honest.
That's fine.
So I really don't know how to, I don't know much about it, so I'm not
Do you know
trying to.
like the difference between like React, like why would I use like React over like JavaScript, or is it like?
I know
use it
the
together?
optimization of it, I know things look faster in React, like pictures,
This link, and you can like have.
also the way it's formatted, instead of you having separate files for JavaScript, CSS, HTML, it's all in one.
Oh, it's all in one. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's all.
Yeah, it's a lot easier, and also for responsiveness as well. I know it's very easy to have a responsive React website compared to an HTML, CSS, JavaScript website. Unless you're using Bootstrap, because I know Bootstrap kind of has a way to do it. Yeah.
So would you like, cause you said there was like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or React, like you only use like.
So React is a framework. React is a framework for HTML, CSS, JavaScript. It's not actually its like own language. It's just a framework for that. A lot of jobs want React. A lot of jobs want HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and a lot of jobs want Angular. That's why we want to start with the basic HTML, CSS, JavaScript, because it's universal. I mean, every framework like React, Angular, whatever other framework like such as React, all still works around HTML. So knowing the basics will get you far to where you want as a web dev. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Oh, you know, it doesn't,
Yeah.
I like, cause when I did in high school, we didn't really go over JavaScript like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Super too much into it, and I wish it was.
So it would be like, different.
It was like a, kind of like Amazon mock-up. Like, it was just links and stuff, and actually, it was pretty cool, but I
Right.
didn't know that, and then I don't expect you to know this one, but,
But it doesn't even know where it came from. That's the information that's not stored back in the
I was still do with React.
These are security
Oh, I don't expect you to know this, but I've heard like TypeScript is like easier JavaScript. I was like, why would you even need TypeScript if you have?
I think that, yeah, it is simpler regular JavaScript, but I'm pretty sure it's the same thing.
I was like, why would you need another one?
Now, yeah, I don't wanna say it's the same thing, I'm not too sure, but it's.
Yeah, I was always just like, basically the same thing, but it's easier. Like,
Yeah.
why would I use that?
I don't understand it either, yeah, I don't understand it. I mean, I know a lot of projects use TypeScript, I know my last two hackathons, I used TypeScript for React.
It's not really like, it's like specific.
Did it feel easier? I don't.
I'm not gonna talk about that, because that was a huge learning curve for the hackathon, at least right now I'm learning actually.
Oh, do you
The
learn?
hackathon, I'm like, what am I doing, you know, everything's on fire around me, you know? But, yeah, if you need any more, let me know.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah, no, we'll go over it, yeah, we'll go over it, cause at the end of the day, I'm not an expert, and I wanna announce this at all, like, in general to this whole, everyone, I'm not an expert, I'm not claiming to be an expert, but this subclub motivates me to learn more, to provide more, better and knowledgeable content, so,
Create a separate.
thank you for coming. Thank you for coming, and I'm trying my best, and I hope today was fine, I hope today I wasn't going all over the place.
I don't need to use it.
Yeah, you could just put everything in the document.
Question, you have a schedule,
So
so just
that
for
you
you know.
can make a change.
So are you following our Discord or Teams or Instagram? So.
Instagram,
We didn't post on Instagram, but, so this is kind of like, not last minute, I was going over about this last week about it.
So I can tell my style about me here.
Problem is I didn't get the room reserve, technically, I don't know, we're actually legal. But, I was like, you know what, Professor Allen, he let me in, so I did like a last minute work thing. But every Thursday we'll have at 6 p.m. I'll have also Discord and Teams, a set schedule of what we're gonna do. So tomorrow or next week we'll do CSS, basically CSS. 2 weeks later we'll do Figma. But yeah, I'll have a set schedule in there, but if you don't see anything, just know every 6 p.m.
My friend is gonna get his art.
That's the
I
mean, I'll say that's the important part. That's the part that's.
Yeah, really?
Let me quickly go around and. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, I'm like trying to program the button.
It's not sure.
There's a problem, but I'm trying to figure out like how to make the button like link over to the GitHub repository.
So remember this, you can use multiple tags here. So
It's not.
hold that one tag
I
and
think
go
it's
over
the-
to link to another web page.
It's as complicated as you want it out there.
How's it, what are you
Yeah, but other than that and all this, for some reason, like, I've linked, so boom, right, I put this image you had that you want to use.
Okay.
Inside, like just the folder that you put.
Uh-huh.
And I linked to it using source, but it's not popping up.
So, so I'm gonna tell you right now, you're in an HTML folder. You need to get out of the HTML folder to access this picture that's in a different folder. This picture's in Python Word, you're in HTML folder, so do //
I need to notice.
and then do Python Word.
I think it should be coming up.
I need to notice.
Yeah. Let me try that, 'cause I actually have space, so I kind of understand why it's like. Yeah, let's make it easier, and take it out.
Yeah, I thought I tried to just.
We just do.
Now it's an image, now it's an
Yeah, I didn't realize it was all this.
image. And then. Take this out.
The one key.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see why. This is what we were still getting something on. So we got out of the folder.
So is the show previews alive?
Yeah, I mean, let's double check, but yeah, it's not.
I'm always using my server extension.
Let's just make it even more easier, Let's just, instead of the trickiness, let's just get it out. Oh, this, okay, I know why, hold on. Let's do rename. There we go.
Was there like another space?
There's a space there.
Oh, I'm so blind, man. I'm so blind.
That's why I was.
I just wanted to try with this.
Okay, so perfect, okay, that's why, it was because of that space. How we doing here?
Yeah, but excluding like my blindness, that's how you do it, you just.
Oh, okay, alright.
Have it only
Yeah.
more.
One
Okay,
folder.
perfect, yeah, you wrote it, man, you doing great.
// is
Oh,
for
we
the
doing
same
it.
folder. If it's in
I'm
there,
just trying to
dot is for one folder up.
Or,
And that's.
Okay, so let's see what's going on.
so I'm making separate projects.
Oh.
So //
Why do we have
is
this?
the project that is using it.
I don't know, I just pulled me.
So the link, you don't need, so what was, do you remember that tag that we used for, linking, that Google, remember that Google and that HTML, do you remember that tag that we used? Right here. Boom, you see that A? That's anchor, so that's what we want to use. Link is a whole different thing. Link is what we do, link a style issue, when we do the CSS part. So we haven't even got to that point, so replace that link with A.
I like the.
No, sorry, just replace that with A. Right there. Yeah, just replace that with A. It should be right to find that. Boom, right there. Yeah, there you go.
Yes, but it was.
Oh, it didn't work
Yeah.
because out of this, like copy, no,
Oh, yeah.
copy and paste that to Google, it'll work better.
Hey, but it's a good one, get started. It is a good start.
It's going on, I like
Where
what
you
you
were,
say.
that's two.
I will say,
Thank you.
for these, the way you've done the lines there. It's a solid.
Ooh, you wanna show it
There
to
is
us?
a horizontal line tag that it takes on.
I don't know about that.
Okay, so did you get all the requirements that I had up there? So make sure you have a footer, make sure for a project or even work experience, have a button that links to either the work experience website or the GitHub. But other than that, you got all the other requirements.
So link it to the place that I work to.
Yeah, just do that, yeah. Or even if you wanna do like, you have anything on your GitHub at all?
No.
No? Okay, then do the work, do the work then, yeah. Just-
I've worked with HTML before though.
Okay, oh, okay, so you know what you're doing.
I know.
So
I'm
HR
just picking
tags
it back up.
is same as VR, it's
Okay.
like library.
Perfect, all right, well, add a button and add a footer and you're good.
Alright.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. So that's a good
How do
idea,
you add a-
actually.
How do you add a footer?
I'll link their website. I don't know how to do that yet.
How do you add a footer?
So use the reference. Use the reference. If you do need help though afterwards, then no, I'm saying like use the reference website. Like I'll tell you if you've already used the reference, but first look at the footer, learn it yourself, and if you still have trouble, let me know.